It happened while you were sleeping. As the world outside your window quietly shifted from night to day, something even more profound was unfolding across the nation, something that would change the very fabric of American life. While the media obsessed over distractions, celebrity scandals, entertainment news, and endless chatter, a series of federal court rulings quietly, almost silently, transformed the landscape of gun ownership in America. The real story was happening in the background, unnoticed by most. The rules you thought you knew, the regulations you believed were set in stone, have been swept away almost overnight. The legal framework that governed your rights for decades has been dismantled, leaving a blank slate where complicated laws once stood. This isn't a minor adjustment, it's a revolution. The dawn has brought with it a seismic shift, a fundamental reordering of the relationship between citizens and their government. Imagine waking up to a country you barely recognize. The familiar routines remain, but the rules have changed. The world outside your door is suddenly different, and you're left to make sense of it all. The web of complicated gun laws that entangled citizens for decades has been torn apart. Years of legal confusion, bureaucratic red tape, and shifting requirements have been swept away, replaced by a new clarity. For years you were told your rights were conditional, subject to bureaucratic approval, endless paperwork, and the whims of officials. That era is over. The days of waiting in line, hoping for permission, are now history. These court decisions have reset the board, returning power to the American people. The authority to decide how you protect yourself and your family is back where it belongs, in your hands. The headlines you should be seeing, bold, historic, and impossible to ignore, would read, "Federal courts declare decades of gun control unconstitutional. Second Amendment rights fully restored." These are the stories that should be leading every broadcast, dominating every front page, and sparking conversations in every home. Citizens no longer need government permission to exercise a fundamental right. The restoration of liberty is not just a headline, it's a turning point in American history, but you won't see them. The media, focused on fear and division, will bury these stories, leaving you in the dark about what's really changed. Instead, the media will try to scare you. They'll fill the airwaves with anxiety, warning of chaos and uncertainty, rather than celebrating the restoration of your rights. They won't tell you these rulings are a restoration of liberty and due process. They won't explain that this is about returning to the principles that built this nation. This isn't just a legal story, it's about real people regaining the right to protect themselves, their loved ones, and their communities. It's about peace of mind, and the freedom to choose how you defend what matters most. It's about a single mother who can now legally carry for protection, walking home at night with confidence, knowing she has the means to keep her child safe. And a collector who no longer fears becoming a felon overnight for owning a family heirloom. It's about responsible citizens who can finally breathe easier. It's about the promise of America. Your rights are yours by birth, not government grant. The Constitution's words are not just ink on paper, they are a living guarantee. The ground has shifted, and every American needs to understand what's changed. This is a new era, one where liberty, responsibility, and the power of the people have been restored. The question now is, what will you do with your freedom? So, what exactly happened? The answer lies in a profound shift in how courts must now view gun laws. For years, judges used a balancing test, weighing government interests against your rights, often favoring restrictions. That system is gone. Now, there's only one standard: the text, history, and tradition of the Second Amendment as understood at the time it was written. If a law wasn't recognized as constitutional in the founding era, it's now invalid. This change is seismic. The government can't invent new justifications for infringing on your rights. Restrictions must have direct historical precedent. Few modern gun control laws do. The presumption is now in favor of your rights, not government power. This is the foundation for all the changes to come. It's a restoration of constitutional order. The first and most immediate change is the elimination of the good cause requirement for obtaining a concealed carry permit. For years, this rule made it difficult for ordinary citizens to legally carry a firearm for self-defense, unless they could convince authorities they had a special, extraordinary need. In states like California and New York, applicants were forced to jump through hoops, providing detailed explanations and evidence to prove why they deserved the right to carry. This often meant that only a select few, such as celebrities or those with political connections, were granted permits, while regular people were left unprotected. But now, that era is over. The courts have ruled that these restrictive may-issue schemes are unconstitutional, violating the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Second Amendment. The legal landscape has shifted dramatically, ensuring that the right to self-defense is not just a privilege for the few, but a right for all law-abiding citizens. The right to bear arms now truly means the right to carry a firearm for self-defense outside your home, whether you're running errands, commuting, or simply enjoying a night out. States are now required to issue permits to any responsible, law-abiding adult who passes a background check, making the process fair and accessible. No longer can officials deny you simply because they don't think you need it. Your right to self-defense is no longer subject to the whims or personal opinions of bureaucrats. The process is now clear, consistent, and based on objective criteria. Even more importantly, the national right to carry has been affirmed. Your constitutional rights don't disappear when you cross state lines. Whether you're traveling for work, visiting family, or exploring new places, your right to protect yourself travels with you. This change is truly life-altering for millions of Americans. No longer do you have to feel defenseless or vulnerable when walking alone at night, traveling through unfamiliar areas, or simply going about your daily life. Remember, carrying a firearm isn't about seeking out danger or looking for trouble. It's about having the means to protect yourself and your loved ones if the unexpected happens. Ultimately, the responsibility for your safety is back where it belongs, with you. You now have both the right and the ability to defend yourself whenever and wherever you need it. For decades, gun control activists pushed for registries to track every firearm and owner. The courts have now ruled these registries unconstitutional. No more government lists of who owns what. This is a huge victory for privacy and a check on government overreach. Equally significant, the end of so-called assault weapons bans. These laws targeted firearms based on cosmetic features, not function. The courts ruled such bans unconstitutional. These are common, lawful firearms. With over 20 million AR-style rifles in America, they're undeniably in common use. Banning them is like banning the most popular car model. Law-abiding citizens can no longer be made felons for owning these rifles. It's a victory for common sense over political hysteria. The next change, firearm suppressors, long regulated like machine guns, are now recognized as hearing protection. The courts ruled that treating suppressors as dangerous is absurd and unconstitutional. Suppressors can now be purchased with a simple background check, just like any accessory. This is a win for shooter safety and against pointless regulation. The courts also struck down restrictions on ammunition. No more taxes, background checks, or bans on online sales. The right to bear arms is meaningless without the right to acquire ammunition. Law-abiding citizens can now buy ammo freely, restoring a free market. This prevents politicians from enacting backdoor gun bans by choking off ammunition. The right to bear arms is now a practical reality, not just theory. The days of treating gun owners like criminals for buying ammo are over. Red flag laws once allowed firearms to be seized based on accusations, often without the owner present. This violated the principle of innocent until proven guilty. The courts have overhauled these laws. No more secret hearings or anonymous accusations. The accused must be notified, have legal counsel, and face their accuser. The burden of proof is now on the state to show actual, imminent danger. This restores the presumption of innocence. Due process is now required for all gun-related laws. No more secret watch lists or unexplained denials. The government must provide clear reasons and a real path to appeal. Your rights can't be stripped away without a fair, open hearing. The next change, real accountability for law enforcement and officials who violate Second Amendment rights. Qualified immunity no longer shields those who knowingly break the law. Officials can now be held personally and financially liable for violating your rights. This deters government overreach and protects citizens. The right to self-manufacture firearms is also affirmed. Americans have built their own guns for centuries. Recent bans on ghost guns are now unconstitutional. Making your own firearm is a protected form of acquisition. Criminals are still barred from possessing guns, but law-abiding citizens can build for personal use. The right to bear arms comes from the people, not the government or a factory. It's a final affirmation of individual liberty. What does this mean for you today? Your rights are stronger and more secure than ever. You can carry for self-defense, buy common rifles and ammo, and protect your privacy from registries. If your rights are violated, you have a real path to justice. The government must treat you as a citizen, not a suspect. This is a restoration of balance, ending the failed experiment of disarming the law-abiding. The law now recognizes that an armed citizenry is a safe citizenry, but with these rights comes responsibility to be trained, safe, and informed. This isn't a license for recklessness, but a mandate for responsible self-reliance. Millions now have the opportunity to take an active role in their own safety. The government's limits are clear. Now it's up to the people to show wisdom and freedom. This is a stunning victory for freedom. A decade of legal battles has led to a profound constitutional renewal. Generations have fought tirelessly for these rights, and today, their perseverance has been rewarded. The echoes of their struggle remind us that liberty is never simply given. It is earned through courage, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in justice. But this is just the beginning. With every new dawn, the responsibility to protect these hard-won freedoms grows. The journey toward a more perfect union is ongoing, and each step forward brings new challenges and opportunities. Opponents of these rights will regroup and look for new ways to undermine them. History shows us that progress is often met with resistance, and those who disagree will not simply fade away. They will adapt, organize, and attempt to reverse these gains. The most important thing you can do is stay informed and engaged. Understand these changes. Read, listen, and ask questions. Knowledge is your greatest tool in defending your rights. Talk about them with your community, share what you've learned, and encourage open, honest conversations. When we connect with others, we build a stronger, more resilient society. Don't let fear and misinformation control the narrative. Seek out facts, challenge rumors, and help others separate truth from fiction. A well-informed public is the best defense against manipulation. The truth is, these rulings make citizens safer and government more accountable. When rights are protected, communities thrive, and trust in our institutions grows stronger. The Second Amendment is a right to be cherished and protected. It stands as a symbol of our nation's enduring commitment to individual liberty and collective responsibility. Celebrate, but don't become complacent. Victories must be defended, and freedoms must be nurtured, not taken for granted. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Every generation must answer the call to defend what has been won, remaining alert to threats both old and new. The fight continues in legislatures, Congress, and public opinion. Laws can change, but so can hearts and minds. Your participation shapes the future. Your voice and understanding matter. The future depends on an engaged citizenry. Every conversation, every vote, every act of awareness strengthens our democracy. Stay awake, stay informed, and never surrender the rights so many have fought to secure. Together, we can ensure that this new chapter leads to a brighter, freer tomorrow for all.